Good evening, people, and welcome to the Outpost Frequencies live stream brought to you by thelastmovieoutpost.com. All of your movie news, reviews, and everything cool about films. Tonight with us, as always, is myself, not George Lucas, and we have Sean with us.
Ahoy.
And Drunken Yoda in the middle of a drink, just to get through this.
Yes, it's I've Irished up this coffee. I hope you all like the new intro. We have added Sean to the opening cast, the main credits.
That's me. Even though I came out last week that I was now to be known as Shauna, and I see that that was not respected.
That was
You're
not
still
respected.
dead naming. You're still dead naming me, but
It's never going to be respected.
It's not because of a trans thing. It's just because of you, Sean. We don't respect you.
Oh, that's different.
Yeah.
That's
Okay. It's not a group thing. It's just
I can
individual
yeah.
characteristics.
Okay.
As a British person, I respect neither of you, so it all works out well.
Well, yeah. So long as we're all on the same page, you limey bastard.
Yoda, you said you've got some news about Dom.
Well, I don't have a particular news, but it's been so. One is that obviously I've got Dom still in the opening credits, and two, I was requested on my Star Trek video, which has neither of you. It's just my friend Philoido that we do an occasional thing together. Was asking where's Dom. So here's the thing. Dom is always welcome to be on any stream. We have no problems. There's nothing going on. There's no animosity or anything like that. Dom is just 10 years younger than me, and his kids are much younger, and he's a busy guy, and he's got to deal with his family, and I respect that.
Family.
Not
Family.
the
That says a
Fast
lot
and the
about us
Furious
three.
kind.
It does, doesn't it?
Well, mine is grown, so we're
killed mine.
old farts that are bitter and we have time to burn, and he just doesn't have time to burn. I keep him in the opening credits because I'm very grateful to him. Before I had you two, he would get on a stream, even though it was here and there, whatever. I could count on him on some evenings to do that, and when this was very early going, he was there, and I really appreciate it. Just like I'm really, really grateful to you two, and no BS here. Really grateful to you two for being here every week and keeping this going and really getting this on a regular schedule. So I just kind of keep them there now. I may redo the intro completely at some point, but I'll probably keep him in at least a place of honor. But I mean, Dom, if you're listening, if you're out there, you know you're there. We want you. You're a very attractive man.
Before we went live, what he was saying about Dom was just...
I know, and I can't believe what a difference in tone. And his face, it's like he's so nice, but before...
yeah.
Crazy.
Wow, such good acting.
Dom is like, yeah. I know Yoda. Yeah.
It would be good to get Dom back at some point in time because it's always a good chat. I think the four of us would make quite a team as well.
Yeah, my laptop could explode with the 4 streams.
Wait a minute, before we move forward, there is more Alec Baldwin news. I sent it in the... I put it in the group messenger thing. I don't know if you guys had a chance to read it, but apparently Alec is trying to blame him shooting her on the riot and January 6th.
Before we keep going, so I heard no sound. It shows that there's sound going out. Might have been just for the stream starting. I don't know, but if you guys could hit me up in chat, just let me know that you're still getting sound.
Chat saying no sound.
Well, he said it once, and then he said, there it is, Epic Open. Maybe they would no sound for the countdown, which I don't have sound for the countdown. It's just...
It looks like my niece is online, and she says hello. I've just turned the sound on briefly, and it seems to be coming out.
We seem to be coming? Okay. All right, cool. So I didn't want us to get
Hello,
30 minutes into this thing again. We have to re-say everything. Not for a 12th time, no.
Oh, and Eggy Wags has just joined us as well.
Hey, Eggy. Hey, Pops.
He's using some kind of weird language that only
it's a very
stinky, pompous.
It's a dead language that nobody uses anymore.
Nobody talks like that.
Well, there's nobody left. There's no French left in France anymore. It's all Arabs. So I don't know what the problem is.
The three that left have been locked down, so they can't use that computer.
That's right.
My favorite from that was a chat, and somebody wrote bone jaw, and the person put what, and he said bone jaw. It's what they used to say hello in France, idiot. Right.
Did they? So anyway, yes, Alec Baldwin. I'm sorry, I derailed you.
I forgot. Never mind now. You interrupted me. I don't care anymore.
Sorry, no.
Yes. Come on, Sean. Get it together.
Hang on. Before we go on, Rach, why don't you just go and do something else instead? There's no point in watching this. That's my sister, unfortunately.
Is she hot?
Alec Baldwin.
She looked like you.
Alec Baldwin is still at large.
Yes, and he's now saying that the fault of the accidental oopsie was the right and hate and January 6th.
January 6th. He was so distraught still about January 6th that he shot his director of photography and winged his director.
Please explain that to me. What is it about January 6th?
Seems a bit of a stretch. January 6th.
You mean what happened, or?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
So there were, Trump had a rally on that day to protest the thing we can't really talk about on YouTube. I almost got in trouble there for that, but some election stuff, they weren't happy about it because of some alleged
This is last year.
Yes, and so some people showed up, and there was some feds in the crowd, and they kind of spurred them on, and they broke into the Capitol building, and a bunch of old women walked around with little American flags, looking around, and
the Buffalo guy.
The Buffalo guy got up in, the Senate chambers, and a guy went in there and put his feet up on Nancy Pelosi's desk, which, you can't do that. So, they say that's worse than Pearl Harbor and the Holocaust and 9/11. They do say this.
They really are saying that.
They really are
saying that. It's so
sorry,
bizarre.
That's not funny then.
This is just proof that, we could have 100 days of rioting. We could have Minneapolis and Portland and
the
New
Summer
York
of Love,
and Chicago,
as it's also known as,
and Seattle. They could all burn down to the ground. We could have 35 deaths. None of it's important. But as soon as it happens to the press, as soon as it happens to the people, that are, the Democrats basically, then all of a sudden it's hugely important. And the only person that died in that riot was one of the people that was on Trump's side, because one of the Capitol Police started firing wildly into the crowd or something.
Shot her right in the neck.
Yeah.
Now, the thing to keep in mind here is none of the protesters or rioters or whatever you want to call them, not one of them were armed. Nobody was arrested or charged with being armed. There was no weapons there. They call it an armed insurrection. The only nobody. They call it an insurrection too. Nobody has been charged with insurrection or sedition or any of the the buzzwords the media use. They've been charged with like trespassing. That's it.
And because this happened last year, it was 10 months later that Alec Baldwin was still quite angry about it and shot his director of photography.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Apparently,
he picked up a gun. He was like, "Those motherless bull pussies," and just started shooting.
Apparently, Bad Orange Man somehow used Putin to hack the revolver.
An 1880s era revolver.
Out of revenge for all those SNL skits.
To be fair, I think this whole thing with Alec Baldwin, for me to fully understand it, I'm going to wait for the movie to come out with Alec Baldwin as Alec Baldwin or one of his brothers.
Are you talking about the movie they're going to make about the tragedy, or the actual movie that he was on shooting?
I'm telling you.
The movie about the shooting.
What Trump needs to do is make a movie, independent movie called The Rise and Fall of Alec Baldwin, and Trump himself play Alec Baldwin. Now, if I could just pitch that.
That actually sounds like a great idea. I would be totally up for that. I am the greatest actor in the world. Anyway,
you got to get Yoda to do that. He does the best Trump.
I'm not doing it.
He does, yeah.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
I'm trying to think of what Alec Baldwin said. What did he say to his daughter on the phone? Do you remember that? You're a disgusting whore. You're a dirtbag. But you're a tremendous one because you're my daughter, and I want to sleep with you.
So moving on from Alec Baldwin, we are going to talk about a few things. We're going to mention some TV series later on, but we're going to talk about 2022 because we're now in it. We're now several days, a whole week into 2022, and so far
we're over 2% into 2022.
Brilliant. So we're going to talk about some of the movies that are coming out throughout the year. Now, the first big one that we mentioned on the site, lastmovieoutpost.com, the other day was the 355. Now, chances are I will probably watch this purely because it's got Jessica Chastain in it. Rest of it, not really bothered.
Got a thing for her, do you?
Yeah, she's all right.
Is it the red hair?
Okay.
Yeah, she's very nice.
See, typical British taste in women. Blah.
Well, I'm sorry she's not completely overweight and in a pushchair. That's obviously what you Americans go for.
Isn't Kate Beckinsale British?
Yes.
So, but you prefer Jessica Chastain over Kate Beckinsale?
Yeah, but then again, just
all right, never mind. Your opinion doesn't matter about that.
Anyway, so it's the 355, and basically it's a female-centric action thriller with a bunch of girls kicking men's asses.
Oh, I think we haven't seen that before. I can't wait to see that.
It is very, woke. I think it's just a word. I was trying to think of another way of putting it, but I can't. Was there a trailer up on the post? I don't remember seeing a trailer. They've been showing clips on Twitter, but that's about it.
I'm going to let you two talk for a minute. I'm having technical difficulties.
I don't know anything about it other than she's in it and the name of it. So
I mean, from that respect, I'm kind of half looking forward to it because it might be quite decent. You know. Yeah. Well, just, when you go into a film not knowing anything about it, sometimes it's actually quite good.
I tell you one that I'm kind of looking forward to, believe it or not, and is Clerks 3. I'm really anxious to see, because I know a lot of people didn't like Clerks 2, but I liked it better than the first one for some reason, and I kind of want to see 3. I want to see where those characters are at. 15 years later or whatever.
I'm with you on that. I really am.
Really?
Yeah. I look. We got our problems with Mr. Kevin Smith and what he did to several different. I mean, yeah, people are so mad at him
Kevin Smith in general.
Yeah, people are mad at him about He-Man. I'm like, what about Tusk? Why aren't you mad at him after that piece of shit? So or Red State or some of these others. But fine. I adore Clerks 2. I think it's fantastic.
Too, man.
It's both really, really funny and reasonably heartfelt without being forced sentimentality. And
I have seen it, but I couldn't tell you a thing about it.
It's hilarious, and I mean, it's got some really gut-busting, funny moments in it, man. It's better than the first one. I like it a lot.
That's the horse thing is just great. Hey, Freddie fucking Mercury, what is going on here?
Is it the one with Rosie Dawson in it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right, okay, now I do remember it. And I remember the catchphrase that the guy was trying to bring back, which I'm not going to say.
I forgot about it.
I'm bringing it back. Yeah, he tapes it on his back.
Tapes it on.
I do remember that now, yeah. But like I say, yes, I'm also clever enough not to say it.
Oh, yeah, that is all that's when Smith still had balls.
Yeah.
And didn't have cancer or whatever's going on with him, so
didn't cry a lot.
It didn't cry every 5 minutes. I know it's that low T, but he's. I mean, he went for it on a lot of those jokes. I mean, they're making fun of Helen Keller in that damn movie. I mean, they didn't care.
Oh, it's great, man.
So yeah, I love Randall. I do.
Yeah. I thought the addition of that Christian kid into it was great. That was not because I'm not offended by Christians or hate them, but just he was so, I don't even naive to the max.
He was a great character.
He was great.
He was so into. It's funny when you watch that because it doesn't feel like that movie was that long ago for some reason. You have those movies, it just doesn't feel like it's that long ago. And then he starts talking about the first new Transformer movie that's coming out. I was like, Jesus Christ, how old is this movie?
Yeah, it's great.
Because to me, like I say, Clerks 2, it just makes me think of the Jay and Silent Bob second, or not the second one, but the one they did recently,
Reboot,
which was just embarrassing. It was awful.
Unwatchable.
So
yeah, I have fear. I won't lie.
Yeah.
And like I say, with the way Kevin's gone and completely sold his soul to Hollywood.
My understanding is one that they wouldn't do it because originally he wasn't able to do it because the guy that plays Randall, I forget the actor's name, but
I thought it was the Dante guy that didn't want to do it.
No, it was the Randall guy, and he didn't want to do it, and they finally brought him back in with a script that he really finally liked. And I don't know. I mean, he doesn't do that much work outside of this, or maybe he's a behind the scenes guy. I don't know. But I think he has a specific idea of who Randall is and what he should be like. And I guess this is going to be more centered because Dante kind of finished his arc by accepting marriage to Rosario Dawson, which why was that a tough fucking choice? And I mean, I'm sorry, Jennifer Schwelbach or Rosario Dawson. Not a tough decision. Yeah. Sorry.
I need a coin for this one. Hang on.
Yeah. And Schwelbach isn't terrible or anything, but I mean, it's Rosario Dawson. Come on.
We'll probably come up to Clerks Street because I found Yoda found a list of the movies that are coming out. I found an awful list. I think we will get on to Clerks.
What is this? Avatar 4 is coming out in 2022? I don't think so.
Yeah.
But then in January, the other one that's coming out is Screen 5.
Yeah, don't care.
But they're just calling it Scream. And I'm the same as you.
We ran out of numbers.
And also, you'd think they'd make the S a 5.
Oh God, yes, that's so obvious. They missed it.
But obviously, it's one of those things in Hollywood at the moment where they don't like putting numbers on films to remind you how many you've seen.
Maybe they thought it would mean 5 creams, and that sounds like a very different movie.
I watched that last night on Pornhub.
But yeah, Screen is another one of those films. I got into somebody on Twitter, and I sort of said it's another dug-up movie or movie that's being dragged out and everything else. And somebody said, "Oh, what about all the other slashes that have been made?" And I was kind of, that's exactly my point. It's just another one which is just being churned out, and it's a whole nostalgia thing. Again, I might be pleasantly surprised, and it might actually be well done, but I'm really not expecting much from it.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is Wes Craven's dead, and they were sort of his thing, that he started it, and not that he was like churning out masterpieces at the end of his career, but it ain't going to be any better without him. That's for sure.
I mean, I do think the original Screen did. I don't want to say. Yeah, I don't want to say
the first three is a pretty close to a perfect trilogy as far as slasher movies kind of go.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I don't know. Yeah, I find them all equally meh. That's just me. I was not impressed with the first one.
Not even at the time.
Not even at the time. Probably because I just wasn't. I was never that into slasher movies in the first place. I don't think I've actually seen all the Jasons. I know I've gone through the Freddy's once. I haven't seen all the Halloweens.
Blu-ray. What are you talking about?
I just haven't seen most of them, so I don't. It just because they're silly and they're stupid, and I like once you've seen one, then it's just not like the first Halloween was great. After that, everything's just a sad carbon copy of that.
See, I would say though that the first Scream was kind of quite a good examination of that, and they did take a point and make something quite interesting out of it.
It was
sort of
clever.
Taking the mick out of it,
it ruined things for a long time though with the meta humor and all that kind of stuff.
It's still ruining things.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm looking at the cast. You got Monica from Friends. You got her ex-husband, isn't it David Arquette?
Yeah.
And Courtney Cox and Neve Campbell looks like your mother at this point, like your mother who is not cool, but she tries to rap to you to show that she's cool, and you're just cringing the whole time. That's what she looks like now. And it's not that she isn't a good-looking lady or anything. It's just it's a little pathetic in this kind of franchise.
Yeah.
But again, it's just kind of one of those things. It's far too late, especially kind of for a slasher thing. It was the same with Halloween Kills. It's just kind of let it go now.
Well,
just let it go.
Did you ever see 4?
Yeah, 4 is so forgettable.
Did you know there was a 4?
Yeah, I have.
It was like 10 years ago now, and
yeah,
that one was like a throwback nostalgia. So we're doing throwback nostalgias to throwback nostalgias to the original. We're 2 degrees of Kevin Bacon past this. I don't know how many more we can go.
Like I say, Scream is certainly one which I will eventually get around to watching it, because I'm a sucker and obviously have a self-destructive streak in me. But I can't say there's anything that's going to be. And like I say, I might be pleasantly surprised. I hope I am.
I'll watch it when I can watch it for free. I'll go that far,
Courtney Cox actually looks like the Scream mask with all that Botox.
Don't get her too close to a fire. And in February, we've got the 2 big movies coming out in February are Moonfall, which we've just had a trailer about, which again,
don't care.
I must admit, I kind of like Roland Emmerich in a really cheesy way. His movies.
What is that? What that is? It's Moonfall is just the moon's going to hit the earth.
Apparently, yeah. It's based on a true story.
That'll chestnut.
Isn't the moon getting farther away? Aren't we going to lose it? Isn't that the problem? Not that it's going to hit us?
Like an inch a year or something, I think.
Yep.
But with it, I mean, I find Roland Emmerich movies are utterly stupid, but quite entertaining.
I disagree.
I don't. I don't like.
No, I don't disagree on part 1. Part 2 is where I disagree. Yes, they're stupid. Not that entertaining.
See, I still, my favorite moment from any of his movies was in Independence Day when all the alien computers use Mac.
Yeah,
and he was able to upload the virus.
Look, apparently that's explained in a deleted scene. Not that it helps, but it is kind of explained.
I was surprised they used serial ports.
Yeah.
It wasn't that he could. I didn't have a problem with him putting up. Look, if it's a binary computer, if it's just ones and zeros, in the end, if that's the language, let's just take that as a given. Then he probably could come up with some sort of code that could gum up the works. Where I differ is that, especially in 96, where we were barely figuring out, that he was able to figure out the graphics to make an animated skull that had sound.
That took 20 hours.
Jesus Christ.
That's what took you out of the movie.
If you just wanted to put in Jell-O, then that's fine. You gum up the works and it's fine. But you can't make all this. When did he have time for that? He was drunk most of the time, if I recall.
And how would they even recognize that as some sort of, troll thing?
Independence Day is fine for what it is. It doesn't take itself too seriously, so I'm okay with it. Yeah. I haven't watched it in quite a while. It's one of those I'm afraid to go back to. But everything that's made sense has been too self-serious and too ridiculous. And that Day After Tomorrow would cinched it for me. That ridiculous.
Again, it was stupid, but I quite liked it. I've seen it. It's been on British TV on one of the sort of film channels, and I've watched it a few times and still sort of find it just,
Yeah, but I mean, they got the Dick
pure
Cheney
propaganda.
In there. They got the, Republicans want to destroy the earth, and it could happen any minute now. Cold could just hit you, and even South Park took a piss out of that.
See, you guys always get politics into it. I didn't see any of that.
They didn't put the politics into it.
Dude, that is the most. That is the most heavy-handed propaganda I've seen since Day After Tomorrow, the nuclear anti-nuclear war film in the 80s, man. Yeah, it's pure propaganda. It's just.
Oh yeah, I mean look, maybe because you're British.
I don't remember them saying that the Americans made the weather cold.
Oh, they do.
No, yeah, they had. This was during the Bush years, and there's clearly a Dick Cheney analog in there, and that's why these things age poorly. Because administrations come and go, right? You've got Kingsman. They've got Barack Obama, his brain exploding at the end, along with all the other world leaders. It's like, okay, fine, cute, but really is not very impactful anymore. We've had 2 presidents.
No fun as fun as it was to see.
Well, I mean, yeah. I granted, I smiled at that. I frowned at the other stuff, but in the end, when I look back on it, it's like it's all crap because it's all. We make these things with political ideas in mind. We make these things with, I don't like Mr. President, he make me mad. And so I'm going to make a movie about it. And that's going to, hold up, as that's the next Gone with the Wind, right? I mean, get out of here.
Okay. Right. So, we'll talk about that when it comes out in February.
Let me turn my rant button off here. Wait a minute. Sorry. I got it stuck on rant.
Who knew somebody would be so passionate about a Roland Emmerich film?
Anti-Roland Emmerich. Let's be clear.
But just still that passionate about it. The other one that's coming out at the same time is, and again, this is one of those we just talked about, sort of like with Clerks and Jay and Silent Bob moving older and everything else. The other one that's coming out is Jackass Forever. And again,
I'll probably watch that.
You know what? That holds up better than any of these other movies.
Who doesn't want to see a bunch of now like late 50s guys for real hurting themselves this time? Because
look,
getting out of a chair.
If you ever watched the original Jackass movie, tell me, is it ever not funny when they roll a golf cart with golf clubs splaying everywhere? Just wrecking the thing.
I do like them.
It's great.
The first few movies are good fun, and like I say, I do enjoy them because it is funny seeing people getting hurt. But now, like I say, them getting hurt is telling them that they've been rejected for a mortgage and stuff like that.
Oh no, they're still rich from those other ones, man.
But that's coming out in February.
That shows you how old we're getting, right? It's like, boy, that ain't good. That ain't good for the prostate. He shouldn't do that.
You ain't going to get up in that in the morning and walk that one
keep
off.
me up. He should take some Metamucil or something. So old.
The other big one coming out in February is Death on the Nile. No.
Is it all by the same people who did Orient Express? Because that was
bad. Kenneth Branagh with his wonderful moustache. Just a different cast, obviously, this time. And not Armie Hammer's in it, and isn't he?
Yeah.
The last sighting of Armie Hammer ever.
Do you guys think that he really did all that or said all that? Whatever. You think he's guilty? Just curious.
I think it's one of those scenarios where everybody in Hollywood is doing that kind of thing, but Arnie's got caught.
Yeah. It's his turn.
Yeah, they need a scapegoat every now and then.
Can we talk about Epstein? Come on. Of course he was doing that, and so is everybody else. So get off your high horses.
Let me rephrase then. Do you think the women really cared when he did it at the time, or do they just care now because it's probably convenient to them in some way? I guess that's the real question.
Is it good publicity for him? Absolutely.
Money.
Yeah. I hold all of them in absolute cynicism. I don't think there's a sincere bone in their body, and I don't think anything they're saying that they're upset about is
Arnie
true.
Only did it because of January the 6th.
That's right.
That can be
Even though it was before January the 6th, he had a premonition, and next thing you know, he's jerking off in the flower bed or whatever the hell he did.
Another big one out in February is, say big one, Blacklight movie. It's just called Blacklight, but it stars, wait for it, because I know you're going to be immediately interested in this, Liam Neeson.
That's what
it's going to be another one of, in February the 11th. It's going to be another Liam Neeson getting older, doing action stuff, which he's done for the last almost like dozen films.
Yeah,
I think it is.
Since Taken, that's sort of been he's been churning out these paint by the numbers, cookie cutter old man action movies.
The last one was Ice Road, where he was an ice road trucker, and again,
fascinating stuff.
Oh dear!
I want to warn you. I have a particular set of skills. My wheelchair battery is fully charged. I will find you eventually.
I know there's a boring script out there with my name on it, and I will find it, and I will make it.
I will make it.
I will cash that check.
The other one coming out in February is, again, this is kind of, I had to look this up because I hadn't heard of it, but called Marry Me, but it stars, and this immediately put you off again, Jennifer Lopez and Owen Wilson.
I'm out.
Yeah, I don't care.
I mean, Jennifer Lopez.
I don't even want to talk about it any further. I'm serious. I don't even.
So let's moving on. In February then is the Uncharted movie.
Is that the one with Tom Holland?
Game.
Yes.
Is that a video game movie?
Yes.
Looks like like a pseudo Raiders, like one of those adventure find the treasure movies.
It's like a very pale, cheap imitation of Indiana Jones.
Well, I mean, it's different enough. I don't know. I like Wahlberg. I like Holland. It could be just.
From what I've seen of the trailers,
it
looks
fun.
a bit. Yeah, possibly. It's directed by Ruben Fleischer, who I'm just trying to think. There was a couple of films that he did which were awful. Venom was one of them.
Oh wow! Okay, the scales are tipping.
Yeah, Spy Hunter. Oh, that's in development apparently. Zombieland, 30 Minutes or Less, Gangster Squad, Zombieland 2, Double Tap, Uncharted, and I'm sure there was something else that he'd done. This is a different format. I'm not used to seeing it.
That Double Tap movie was just
instantly forgettable.
Yeah.
Talk about another waited too long.
So I'm gonna guess that's probably not going to be anything, but it's one of those. It's like if you just from the premise, you go that could be fun, and then when you hear the pedigree behind it, say, but probably not.
The other one coming out in February is just called Dog, with Channing Tatum and a dog. And
I've seen the
trailer. It could be interesting.
I don't know if it could decide whether or not it's one of those pet dog movies that are so sentimental and make you cry, or if it's Turner and Hooch. I think it's trying to be both.
Oh really? Oh. From what I saw, I thought it was going to be the first thing, that it was kind of quite schmaltzy and the dog might die.
There's moments in it where he's like eating the car, and things like that. So I don't know if it's schmaltz or if it's, hey, sometimes there's no need to choose. It's a dessert topping and a floor wax.
I'm just looking at what else is there. There's The Outfit, which
that's I would call that more of an art house type movie. Probably,
The Devil's Light with Virginia Madsen. Again, I've not heard of that either. 25-year-old nun. Sister Anna performs exorcism of ward-off demons.
That sounds like a fantasy of mine.
Wait a minute, I'm interested in this.
Virginia Madsen is a 25-year-old nun. That's some CGI is going to be used there, but okay.
Well, they've got those habits that cover their face mostly, don't they? So, again, it's some of the films on this list are highlighted, but I can't say that I've particularly heard of that. Then in March we have The Batman, which is how many sort of incarnations have there been now? Is it 5th or 6th? I think incarnation.
7 dozen. I don't know. It's yeah. I mean, I'm
intrigued.
The trailers are just not working for me. If this is supposed to be more of a detective kind of thing, and I grant you, it is a trailer, so you can only do so much, but it feels like all the lines are really obvious to me and really simplistic and cliched, and I'm not seeing where I'm going. Okay, does it look good? Yeah, almost all movies look good these days. Maybe a little too dark, but it's Batman, so that's fine.
It is directed by Matt Reeves, who I do like.
I do too.
His work is very good. I thought Dawn of the Planet of the Apes was brilliant. War, Cloverfield I thought was very well done for a sort of found footage film. And I thought Let Me In was actually quite a good recreation of the original. Was it Swedish film? Let the Right One In, I think it was. And so I do like his work, and so I'm kind of interested from that perspective, but again, I'm just, with the state of the DC universe and what they're trying to just sort of, what they're trying to do, they're still trying to, I'm going to say this, they're still trying to be like Marvel, and it's just not working.
I don't know if they're trying to be like Marvel, if they're just trying to have the success of Marvel, but do bizarre things. I don't know, and I have no idea is this its own thing? Is this after Flashpoint? Is this the Joker universe? Is this? I don't know.
And then they've got because the Flash film's coming out as well, isn't it? And then are they related in any way? Because
sure. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're related. All the money goes to Warner Brothers' bottom line.
Operation Fortune.
I kind of want to see that one. That's the one with
Jason Statham.
Yeah, I want to see that just because of how much I enjoyed Hugh Grant's performance from The Gentleman. It really made me kind of like, I want to see that now.
It is directed by Guy Ritchie, so I mean, it could be good. Wraith of Man was no, that wasn't Guy Ritchie. Was it Guy Ritchie?
Yeah, he did.
Because that was quite decent, wasn't it?
It made my top 5 of the year list.
It did indeed. And then also coming out in March, which is obviously going to be absolutely wonderful and far beyond any of you Americans, is Downton Abbey: The New Era.
I can't fucking wait.
Oh, God, I hate Downton. It's so boring.
You don't like it? I've heard such good things about it. But you don't
thought there was a law that all limeys had to like that shit.
Actually, I shouldn't have said I haven't watched it. Yes, I have watched it, and it's great. Waiting for the police any moment.
I could see the red dot already on your shirt.
No, I'm just not a fan. I'm just not a fan of the whole period drama thing. It just
I mean, I like them if they're done right, and I've been wanting to give it a try. I just haven't I know it's one of those you have to be in the right mindset for, you have to pay attention to. So, but I'm willing to give it a try. I did recently start Yellowstone, and I've liked it quite a bit so far.
My mom loves Yellowstone.
I'm pleasantly surprised. It's basically big corporation ruthlessness, but the big corporation is a ranch the size of Rhode Island, and that's.
Can I just mention? I've not been paying attention to the chat, and Aggie Wags has been talking to us, but we've been completely ignoring him. I'm so sorry, Aggie. He's never seen either of the Clerks films. If 2 is better, do we need to watch the first one first?
You do have to see the first. It sets up the characters, so you understand where they're coming from in 2.
Clerks is kind of one of those cinephile films that you need to have watched. Really, if you're a moviegoer, it should be on your watch list at some point.
There isn't a whole lot. Like, if you watch Clerks 2, it's not like, well, I don't understand this because I didn't see Clerks 1. I don't think there's anything like that in there. But no. It is helpful to understand where this came from. And Clerks itself, I think, is such an interesting... I find it interesting just from a film history perspective, because it's just this dude who ran up his credit cards and made this black and white film that happened to catch fire, and he made it in black and white because he couldn't afford color film stock and things like that, and just guerrilla filmmaking in a friend's quick stop.
Very 90s movie.
And Gen X.
It is worth watching.
Yeah, very Gen X, very late 90s movie. It's a good movie on its own.
Yeah.
But you really get a better feel for where the two characters come from and their history by watching the first one, I think.
You could definitely see the lack of refinement in filmmaking on the first one, and then the second one.
But that's kind of good. Like you say, he made it on a budget, but you can see that he was a very skilled filmmaker and worked well with the actors.
He did. I mean, it was like editing and things like that, or some of the story flow, if you could even call it that. There were things that needed some touch ups, and that you can see happened in Clerks 2 easily.
Yeah.
It flows much better. It sounds better, all that kind of stuff. But it doesn't lose any of that essence of what. Like, if he had the full budget and he had a little bit more experience, Clerks would have been what Clerks 2 is.
Yeah.
Mm.
Clearly none of them were professional actors either. So there's parts in it where you're like, but you gotta, like all these things, you gotta say, well, okay, but he got his friends to do this, so you can't be too.
Yeah.
Correct.
Aggie also says Courtney Cox actually looks like the Scream Mask now with all the Botox, which we've mentioned, and the world needs to see a Neeson film starring alongside Nicolas Cage, directed by Roland Emmerich.
Banning from the chat, if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's pushing it a bit too far, Aggie. We'll come back to him later. No, we won't. Also in March, the other big one that's coming out is Lost City, which is Sandra Bullock and Daniel Radcliffe and Channing Tatum again.
We got by for years with no Channing Tatum movies. Now here they are again. I was hoping that he was gone like forever because I don't understand how this guy.
Mike coming out, buddy.
Oh,
I know you want to see that.
What could you possibly say? Is anything wrong with Jupiter Ascending?
No. What could you possibly say? There's anything right about Jupiter Ascending?
What that last Lost City? What is it about? The adventure is real. The heroes are not. That's the tagline.
I think it's there's a lost city, and then they check the couch and they find it under their cushions. Oh, look at this, Lost City. What we got here?
So it's basically it almost sounds a bit like the Uncharted movie.
Oh, it's got Daniel. It's got Harry Potter in it.
Yeah, Harry. Because I say Harry Daniel because obviously being British, I know him very well. He was around yesterday. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. April then starts getting bigger. We've got Morbius.
Don't care.
Yeah, I've got to be the same. I'm not massively bothered with it.
I actually, my wife actually wants to see it. I think it's the whole vampire shtick.
Jared Leto's in it. Is probably why your wife wants to see it.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe, but I would love to hear the stories on set though with this guy.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait for those to come out. He had some production assistant, like he actually killed her and drank her blood to get into the part.
Apparently, I read a story once. I read a story once that on the set of when he was playing the Joker on Suicide Squad, he would send, I'm sure it was something like a dead rat to his fellow
co-stars. He did all kinds of
stuff. Yeah, used condoms and all kinds of crazy shit.
Yeah. I say so. Yeah, I can imagine. I've got an idea. How about Jared Leto playing a vampire? Maybe a chef or something. Something a bit safer.
Yeah. I will say, guys, I don't know about you, but I am on board with Sonic the Hedgehog 2. More money for Jim Carrey.
Yeah. What? No, are you being sarky? Because I actually really enjoyed the first one. I thought it was great fun. It was stupid fun. Again, I just found it thoroughly entertaining.
It was okay.
I just don't have any. The whole movie based on video game is a non-starter for me, so I don't even give them a try.
The problem with that is Uwe Boll, the director Uwe Boll. He is the man who has single-handedly ruined any kind of video game remake or video to movie remake. He did Far Cry and Postal and a few others, and he is a terrible director. Absolutely awful.
Hey,
Free
Guy is the best video game movie.
Well, I don't think
we were just waiting for the game to come out.
Yeah. Tron, I guess, was pretty good.
Yeah, Matrix. I guess you could consider that a video game.
Now, especially.
I don't know. I mean, Sonic was if you want to say actual video games, Sonic probably is the best one. I mean, it's damning with faint praise, I suppose. But I'm kind of like, it's got Jim Carrey. Okay.
What's wrong with Jim Carrey?
He's a prick. Are you kidding? He's a super leftist kook prick.
Oh, is it? See, I don't
get lecturing, finger wagging. I'm better.
I wish I didn't know like you did, George. I wish I could be
don't get
blissfully
any of
ignorant.
that.
Bless you, as we say in the South, George. Bless your heart.
I genuinely don't get any of that though, because I've been a fan of him when Ace Ventura came out. I forget how old I was.
Sure, we all were back until he started like talking on, sharing his ideas.
No, but that's all I know about him. Like I say, I've never really seen him in anything else apart from that. So I just remember him from being in decent movies. And with Ace Ventura, a lot of my friends saw it and they said, "Have you seen Ace Ventura?" And I said, "No, not yet." Why? And they were going, "He's just like you." And I used to be quite hyper when I was younger, and apparently I was quite like Ace Ventura. And so I've liked him from that, but I've never heard any of his sort of beliefs or anything outside of films.
Do you remember Kick-Ass 2? Do you remember when Kick-Ass 2 came out? He was in that. And then there was some...
I know that he spoke up about it.
Yeah, because there's some shooting. He's like, "I'm never going to use guns in movies again because it's obviously exactly the same thing as real life." You piece of shit. Shut up.
Oh, no. So like I say, I like him, but then I don't know, any of his politics. It's a good thing not knowing.
Well, so
ignorance is bliss.
I'm glad we just ruined it for you because he's a terrible person.
Well, no offense, but I don't take anything that you guys say as advice or anything. Obviously,
that's probably smart.
You can't fault your logic on that.
Yeah.
Bullet Train with Brad Pitt and Michael Shannon, Sandra Bullock again. A hitman and assassins with conflicting motives are on a train in Tokyo. This is kind of, I suppose, like I say, just assassins on a train.
Mildly.
Are they snakes?
Somewhat.
Snakes on a train. That's what we need.
It's directed by the guy who did Deadpool 2, Once Upon a Deadpool, and Hobbs and Shaw, and Atomic Blonde.
I lost whatever interest I had in it now after you told me that. Whatever mild interest I had, gone.
Which one killed your interest? Deadpool 2 or Hobbs and Shaw?
Deadpool 2, Hobbs, yeah, both of them.
Really?
Yeah.
See, again, I was quite entertained by both of them.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on this one, George. I didn't find either of those two a little forgettable. And Deadpool 2 certainly wasn't as good as Deadpool, but Hobbs and Shaw was fine.
I'm not saying I'm not going to go. I'm not saying I won't watch it. I'm just saying I don't care if like the year goes by and I'm like, hey, did you watch that? And I'm like, oh no, I didn't. I'm not,
What I like about Hobbs and Shaw is how Fast and Furious series started off with, hooligans stealing VCRs and CD players, and then in Hobbs and Shaw there's a superhuman biometric Superman, and it's kind of like, how did we get from there to there?
Oh, they put a Honda in space. Remember, they don't give a shit,
George.
Anymore.
You can do anything with family.
Oh right, yeah. Put cars in space, anything.
Family and Corona. That's all you need, babe.
Fantastic Beasts and the Secrets of Dumbledore. No interest. Not bothered.
Oh, bullshit. You British bastard. You're going to lap that up like a dog drinking water.
I honestly do not enjoy them at all. I think I've seen the Harry Potter series once, and that's it for me. Really not bothered. Really, I genuinely not bothered.
Like the anniversary special they just did?
The only thing I've seen about it is what's been on the site. Honestly, that's it. I'm just really not bothered.
I tried to watch it. I fell asleep. It's unbearably boring. I don't know how they could screw that up as badly as they did. But I mean,
And what's also going to be interesting, not talking about politics, but the whole thing with Fantastic Beasts is the fact that obviously Johnny Depp was fired from with the whole Amber Heard thing, and yet Amber Heard is working on Aquaman 2, and so a lot of people said that they are going to boycott Fantastic Beasts, in memoriam of Johnny. So again, that might be interesting.
I feel like we're taking sides between Hitler and Stalin. I mean, what? They both suck. What's the problem?
The stash was great.
They can bring back Colin Farrell to play him. He did it the first time. What's the who is playing him in the new one? Do we know?
It's Mads
Mikkelsen. Maybe they'll make it like, every movie it's a new actor.
Wait a minute,
that'll be the joke.
What character does he play anyway in it?
I couldn't tell you.
He plays Dumbledore's lover, Grindelwald. Because Dumbledore is gay now.
So, I wonder how much J.K. Rowling's new TERF, her famous TERF, J.K. Rowling, I wonder how much that'll hurt the box office of that.
Well, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of people that are kind of... J.K. Rowling, it's kind of like, look, she's a flaming leftist, except for the trans thing. That was her line. She made everybody in Harry Potter gay if they weren't before, and it's just ridiculous. Or changed their race, all that kind of stuff. And then when we got to the trans thing, like that's a bridge too far for her.
That's her line.
And now she's a far right KKK member, just like that.
Well, I'm just thinking all the stuff that she's saying. Maybe she's trying to hex the movies. Maybe she's thinking to herself, do you know what? I've actually got too much money, and I need to sort of not make as much because it's getting everywhere.
No. Let me tell you why. She's a hardcore leftist, and despite whatever they say, there's nobody on the planet greedier than hardcore far leftists.
No.
She will have them making those until her great grandkid dies, or he goes into public domain, and then she'll come back from the grave to sue them to try to extend it or something.
I'm mildly disappointed she's not made a spaceship as well and gone to space, because that's what all the rich people are doing these days.
You're that she didn't, or you're disappointed that she
Yeah,
didn't?
disappointed that she hasn't. I mean, like I say, everybody else seems. Rick Branson's done it. Elon Musk has done it. Bezos has done it. So
William
she's got enough.
done it, for God's sake.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Musk hasn't himself went into space yet.
No, but he's been making spaceships and playing with them, hasn't he?
But you know what? Does that really like when these other guys, they actually go? He won't do it. Makes you wonder, like, how much confidence he really has in his own stuff, does it? Like, these other guys will put their own life on the line, but Musk is
Have
like,
you
nah.
seen the guys working for me? I ain't going up in it.
It's like, I got so much money. Why would I risk that?
Together.
Yeah. I'm the richest man on the planet.
Again, it's a disappointing statistic that apparently there's about 94 billionaires in America, and not one of them have become Batman.
Tony Stark. I'm holding out hope that Musk becomes real life Tony Stark.
He's getting there.
Yeah.
He was in Iron Man 2.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So a little guest spot.
So that's about as close as you're probably gonna get. But
back in movies.
He'll either be Tony Stark real life or some kind of James Bond villain in real life. I haven't.
Yeah, that's what
go either way, man. Yeah.
If we see him with a cat, we're all screwed. Also coming out in April, which I am looking forward to, is The Northman.
What is that about? I just saw a little blurb on that, but can you elucidate on that a bit?
Right. The only thing I kind of know about it is he's Robert Eggers, who is a director I do like. It's very slow paced and makes very interesting. I love the dialogue in his movies. The plot is apparently an action-filled epic that follows a young Viking prince on his quest to avenge his father's murder. That's what I remember seeing in the trailer now. That as a young lad, he sees his dad get killed, and then he sort of goes off and comes back and gets revenge.
I like a good revenge story.
I just like Robert Eggers. I think his stuff is fantastic. He did Witch and The Lighthouse. And both.
Okay. Yeah. I'm definitely on board with this now.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
I didn't see The Lighthouse. I saw The Witch.
It's pretty. I high recommend.
Oh, yeah.
The script in them is just it's so well done. I know I've seen a few people moaning about the script, but they actually based it on text which had come from old lighthouse keepers' personal journals and so forth. And I know The Witch. A lot of people said The script was really stupid. And it was beautifully delicious.
I call those people stupid.
I tend to agree with you.
No, really, The Lighthouse is a hard recommend if you haven't seen it.
Yes, it's very, very good. It's very, very good. I like the mermaid in it.
Eggy says he hopes the Batman is really influenced by Seven, the Brad Pitt, and
oh yeah,
that would be pretty cool, but I doubt it.
What's in the box, Alfred? What's in the box? It's Robin.
His mother's head.
And then in May, is that Martha, his mother? In May,
why did you say that name?
We start off with Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness. Now, the only hope I hold out for this is the fact that Sam Raimi's doing it.
Agreed.
Look, there's a lot of tie-ins to No Way Home. In fact, I think No Way Home is kind of the catalyst for all this mess.
Almost like the first of the.
And to be honest with you, I think Doctor Strange is one of the more unsung MCU movies. It's kind of overlooked.
It is very well done.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah,
for the Phase 3 stuff, I really liked it. Was it Phase 3? Yeah, it's in Phase 3, I guess.
Yeah. Anything before Infinity War. I think it's. I think it's really good, and I think all the mind-bending stuff that they do with the mirror dimension and there's great visuals in it. And then I like the ending where he defeats the guy by basically getting killed horrifically 70, 80 times, and he just bargains. And I know it's a big meme now, Dormammu, I've come to bargain, but I thought it was clever. I thought it was clever how they came up with it.
I liked it, and I liked him in it.
Yeah.
Whilst Marvel is doing that, also in May, DC League of Super Pets is coming out, which is starring Dwayne Johnson as the voice of Crypto the Superdog.
Of course he is.
Isn't this kind of? I mean, if you wanted to show the difference between what Marvel is able to do and what DC is trying to do. Marvel puts out Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, and DC says, "Oh yeah, well we got DC Super Pets."
It really does seem that way. The other big one out in May is Top Gun Maverick. Now, I was never a fan. I was never a fan of the first film. Never that big on it. Never really got it. When I came to the party late on it, and when I did watch it, this sounds really bad now, I thought it was incredibly homoerotic, and all my friends that have been recommending it to me, it then made a lot of sense.
Sounds like you're projecting to me. No, it is. It really does. Yeah, I mean, at the time it was not. Now, looking back, of course it does. But that's because now everything has to be gay.
Well, I mean, that was the joke even before everything became woke. And it is. I mean, there is. For God's sakes, his love interest is named Charlie. Of course, it's kind of homoerotic. You know, even the girl has got a guy's name. You know.
Have you seen a picture of Tom Cruise and Kelly McGillis then and now?
I did. Somebody showed that to me about a month or two ago, and I was like, now I understand why she is not in the sequel. She looks like she ate the original Kelly McGillis. And did not lose any of the weight from that meal either.
But when you look at the photos next to them, it makes Tom Cruise look like a vampire that he hasn't aged a day in the last like 30 years.
And she looks like she lives under a bridge asking for children for tolls or something, you know. It's...
Love you, Kelly, if you are watching.
She is a disgusting sweat hog now.
So
we won't tolerate fat, ugly old women in our movies.
This is true. Take note, Melissa McCarthy. In June, we've got Jurassic World Domination.
You know how sometimes you like to go onto like bestscore.com or something and watch like this terrible things happen? That's how I feel about this. It's like I want to see it just because
I do like Colin Trevorrow, and I'm gutted that he didn't make the Star Wars movie, but at the same time, I imagine he had lots of meetings with Kathleen Kennedy and just pulled out before he realised what a mistake it was going to be. So I've got some respect for him.
You just ran Yoda off with that. Yeah, he just left. You offended him so bad.
Oh well, yeah, goodness me. But no, with it, the first two Jurassic Worlds, I think, have been quite. The first one was just every cliche you could squeeze into them. The second one, the bit that got me in the second one was the bit where the boat's going off and the explosion happens with the big shadow with the dinosaur. I actually laughed out loud at that because it was so unbelievably cheesy. And it's kind of, I now know to go into Jurassic World Domination with that tongue firmly stuck into the cheek.
It's become like the Fast and the Furious of the franchise, you know.
Which is hopefully going to get a crossover at some point.
Yeah, it might be great.
Fast and Furious.
A T-Rex going down the middle of
objects in the rearview mirror.
Driving. Yeah. Except he's driving the Corvette this time.
Yeah. Also coming out is Lightyear, which is the Buzz Lightyear movie, which again is just one of those not needed things, but it's still being made.
I think they're called cash grabs. Yeah.
It's a great one, Lightyear, though, because of the toys that come with it. They make even more money.
No, so are you saying that Hollywood would make a... Wait a minute.
No.
I gotta digest this a second.
No, that's just... I'm sorry, that's a ridiculous notion. No, of course.
What do you think, they're greedy or something? Okay, I guess. So what's the next one?
Black Phone. Now that stars Ethan Hawke, and all I've seen about that at the moment is some posters, but it's supposed to be a horror. And the tagline says, "The phone is dead and it's ringing." And from what I've seen of the poster, the creepy guy, whoever it is on the poster, it looks quite decent. And it's Scott Derrickson, who did Sinister. Oh, unfortunately, The Day the Earth Stood Still, Exorcism of Emily Rose, Delivered from Evil.
I don't like any of those. Yeah, I don't like any of those.
Doctor Strange, the original Doctor Strange.
I like that.
The Day the Earth Stood Still was a completely pointless remake.
Dog shit.
It was, yeah, compared to the original as well, because the original is such a brilliant movie.
Yeah.
I'm from what I've seen of it, and it is literally only the posters. It seems intriguing, so I'm kind of, I'll give it a go. But we've got to wait until May until that.
You know what horror movie does come out this year?
Go on.
Dashcam.
Now, hopefully, we spoke about this the other day, didn't we? That's hopefully going to be around May.
I think that's what Annie said.
Yes. And what was the name? What was her name again?
Annie Hardy.
Annie Harding. She hopefully will be doing an interview with us about the host when it comes out, because that is.
Yeah,
it's definitely worth saying.
I would say that is a 98% chance that Annie will do the interview with us,
which is something to look forward to, because that is going to be good.
Yes, because her personality is better than ours anyway, so it will be very entertaining. Even if nobody cares about the movie, she'll be pretty entertaining just on.
Just to talk to her. Yeah. Then in July, I didn't realize this was coming out, but Minions: The Rise of Gru. So they're
still making those.
Yeah, I know. I must admit, I did quite like Minions because it was quite funny. I like slapstick comedy, and from that regard, I did like it. But again, this is just one of those prequels where it is just, oh, everybody liked the last one, let's make more.
Explain something to me here? I don't have kids, but they make these movies and they're big at the time, and you think, oh, all these 5-year-olds to 10-year-olds or whatever love it, and it's a big thing. They get the toys for Christmas and everything. Then they come out with a sequel, a year or two later, and still sort of the same kids see it. But then they make sequels or whatever 10, 20 years later, and I wonder, how do they get this same audience? Is it just people buy them for their kids to watch on home video and they're already familiar with it? And
I'm assuming that the kids that enjoyed it as youngsters are now teenagers and got their own kids to take and watch it. I don't know. Again, like I say, I think it's just one of those. They made money, so let's just keep making them until we lose a profit on it.
It's like those Toy Story movies. I'm like, how those things have been around for forever.
As a trilogy, they're brilliant. But that fourth one, I remember Keanu Reeves was in it, and he was an Evel Knievel type guy. And then that was it. That's all I can tell you about it. But the first three, I can not recite, but I mean, the first three had a really great story that followed them all the way through. But that
I have not seen any of them.
Really?
Yeah, because I tell you, it's not. I don't really like any of the kind of computer animated stuff at all. That's a instant turn off for me.
Fair enough.
I don't know, man. It's so weird to my eye. I don't know.
No, that's fair enough.
It's weird, it's just a weird personal taste, So
no, that's fair. That's fair enough. The first one, it's dated now, obviously, because it's kind of the computer graphics has changed in the last 20 years ago. But I will admit the second one and the third one. I was trying to think. No, the second one was very good. The third one, I do remember crying in the cinema when I saw it because it was so touching.
I can't believe you just admitted that.
No, anybody who's seen Toy Story 3 knows what I'm talking about. The bit that got me was basically they were in a furnace and they were sliding down, and there's a bit where Jessie, who's played by Joan Cusack, and Bullseye, the horse is down. Bullseye's struggling like this, and Jessie just reaches over and stops him and sort of goes. And it was really touching.
It sounds really touching. I'm about to tear up a little bit right now just from your
you heartless monster. They are worth watching. They are very entertaining. The second one is kind of my favourite with Stinky Pete played by Kelsey Grammer. He's really good in that, and they are definitely worth watching. They're a good set of movies. Okay, so moving on from your heartless interior, Thor: Love and Thunder. Now, I'm going to say I'm quite looking forward to it because I do like Taiki Waititi.
I love the last Thor movie. I really do. I liked it enough. It's the only MCU movie I bought on Blu-ray since the 2012 Avengers, right? I really liked it. But the whole, it was woke before they even had the script wrote. So I hope against hope that I'm wrong, but man,
he doesn't seem like the kind of director who would kind of let that happen. I don't think.
Well,
I mean, he's quite. I don't want to say he's irreverent, but
they're making what's her name the new female Thor in it. That what else What else do you want to know? You know, what's her name?
But again, it depends how it's done. Yeah, it depends how it's done, though.
Okay. You know what? Maybe, but I don't know. He says, you know, he's made some statements that make me think he's, you know.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting.
I'll probably wait till like you or Yoda see it and then tell me if it's dog shit worthiness or not, and then if it's not, I'll gladly go see it. I would gladly go see that one and break my no more MCU rule on that one.
The whole no MCU. If it comes out, I'm going to watch it. Is my problem.
I really like Thor Ragnarok though. That was a lot of fun. That was
I really liked it as well.
The first two. A lot of people were so mad because like, oh, he's turned into a joke. It's like, yeah, maybe, but it's so much more entertaining than the first two were.
I really liked him. The other big one coming out in July is Nope, which is basically by Jordan Peele. Now,
I wouldn't give him money if it saved 20 orphans.
Now, is that because of his personal views outside of cinema?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, again, I've missed all that. But the only thing I would say is he did that one called, what was the last one called? Was it Us?
Yeah. Dog shit movie.
Yeah, everybody goes on about that film, how great it is. But at the end of it, when he's explaining there's all people living underground that are copying us. And I kept thinking, how do people run marathons? Because there's hallways and everything down there. And none of it made any sense. And people are going, oh, no, it's a brilliant film, really brilliant. And I'm thinking, no, it's got a really stupid ending to it. So I do like him as a filmmaker. I think Get Out was really well done, and you can call it.
That was very woke. That was woke at the extreme. Nah, come on now. You can't tell me you didn't notice that.
All right. I'm not going to deny that, but again, I just enjoyed it, and I thought it was well done.
I thought it was unintentionally hilarious. I did, because it's like, oh, that's the black man's biggest fear, is that old whitey takes their young, perfectly athletic body and come on, dude.
Okay, all right. I mean, like I say, I'm intrigued by it, but I can't imagine it's going to be anything massive. Just looking at the chat here. Sorry, guys, we've been ignoring you. I heard rumors that Rami is keen to get Maguire's Spider-Man back on screen. Maybe another Maguire.
Cameo.
Cameo.
Yeah, I mean, that would be pretty cool. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. But I doubt, because that would take some more Sony and Disney.
It's going to cost more money.
Yeah.
Basically. Can we get a Maguire lookalike? Can we CG him? Is it cheaper to do that? And then Zap's there saying, man, did I love the Gru, the Wanderer movie. Gru the Wanderer? I don't even know that.
I don't know what he's talking about.
If you're talking about a different Gru. No, I think it's the Gru from the Steve Carell Gru from the original Despicable Me, I think is what the Minions movie is. That's the impression I get, at least. Yeah. And then at the end of July is Black Adam.
Don't care at all. Could not possibly care less.
From what I understand about Black Adam is he is the essential anti-hero, and so what I'm worried is going to happen is because it's The Rock, they're not going to make him anti-hero enough.
Of course not.
But actually sort of make him the hero.
Yeah.
So again, I mean, I do find the Rock's films entertaining, and I'm going to call him The Rock because I used to like the wrestling. I'd have refused to call him Dwayne. But again, it's kind of it's DC plus The Rock.
Not a good combination.
Yeah, not really. The others that are coming out here, there's an untitled Disney live action.
So I can't wait for Untitled Disney Project number 247.
I cannot wait to see how they ruin a cartoon by making it live action. It's going to be great. There's one called Bros with Nick Stoller and Simone, apparently one word name. Right, don't know that. It's funny because we're supposed to be experts on what's up and coming in the movies. Secret Headquarters starring Owen Wilson and Michael Pena.
That might be. Those two are entertaining by themselves. I don't know anything about that movie other than those two are in it. It might be very fun.
A kid discovers a secret headquarters of the world's most powerful superhero hidden beneath his home.
So it's another super movie.
It's got a kid. It's got a kid in it as well.
Yeah, I definitely don't care.
The Man from Toronto. Kevin Hart.
I don't care about that. Yeah.
The World's Deadliest.
I'm not a big comedy, like that kind of comedy fan.
Oh no, I'm a comedy fan. That's why I'm not interested that Kevin Hart's in it.
Hey-o.
I genuinely.
Why are you so racist? Why are you so?
I just don't find him particularly that funny.
It's because he's black, isn't it?
No, it's because he's not funny.
I should have never told you to watch Gone with the Wind. This is what happens.
Yeah, like I say, I can't say I'm a fan of him, so I'm quite happy to ignore him.
I don't think he's funny either.
Beast.
That sounds dumb.
It's just the title. A father of two teenage girls finds themselves hunted by a massive rogue lion in South Africa. That could be fun.
The Ghost in the Darkness. Is it called the Ghost in the Darkness remake?
Oh, yeah, obviously.
Sequel.
Samaritan, the movie.
What is that about? Does that have a description?
Here we go. In the third word, we'll put this off. A famed superhero goes missing after an epic battle, but he's actually still around.
Yeah, I don't care.
It's got Sylvester Stallone in it, and apart from that, nobody else whose name I recognise. On a Wing and a Prayer, Dennis Quaid. Dennis Quaid's always generally pretty good with his films. A small town pilot dies unexpectedly while flying a plane, forcing passenger Doug White to land the plane in safety in order to save his entire family.
That sounds no. I mean, that's a throwback thriller, but nah.
Yeah. So on September. Oh, Salem's Lot. Now that could be good.
A remake. Who's directing it?
It is done by. See, I do love the original. It's never good. It's never going to be good. Gary Doberman, who has done It Chapter 2. Annabelle Comes Home and Annabelle Creation. And Annabelle. So yeah, that's not good. That's a shame. I mean, like I say, Salem's Lot, the original is still creepy as hell. I remember seeing that as a kid, and I just.
It's crazy. Isn't it weird to think back now that there was a time that Stephen King wrote really good books and they made really good movies from those books? That's hard to believe, really, isn't it? Nowadays.
Yeah, definitely. Dark Harvest.
I actually have a screener for that one sent to me by the promo company.
Really?
That's and Breeder, which is on that list too.
I was going to say this is September. This isn't coming out with.
Yeah, they send them out real early. So.
Okay.
I haven't
set
watched
on Halloween. No, it's with a lot of the screeners that we get through, I am disappointed in the fact that a lot of them I just read through the synopsis and just think, no, it's another.
I mean, I'm only so influential, they're not sending me Marvel's newest movies or anything.
Yeah, that's right. That would be different. I think, like I say, I wouldn't be sat here with a load of crappy pictures behind me. We would be in a studio somewhere, and you guys would have flown me out first class. The Woman King already sounds bad.
No, don't even want to talk about
Davis.
Skip.
Distant. After a crash landing on an alien planet, an asteroid miner must make his way across the harsh terrain. Running out of oxygen, hunted by strange creatures, the only survivor, a woman who is trapped in her escape pod. It's really weird. This week I watched. It was my dad's birthday on Friday the 7th, whenever the 7th was, and with the passing of Sidney Poitier, I watched To Sir With Love because it was one of my dad's favorite films, and it's incredible how that film, watching it now, is woke, but this was made in 1969, and it wasn't a forced woke. It was just about a black guy teaching these kids and how they made friends and they respected him, and it's so weird now that as soon as that sort of comes up and it's like, another survivor, a woman, and you immediately go, because it's written now in the 21st century.
Yeah.
And
the
climate.
That's the difference, yeah. I'm sorry to cut you off there.
No, go on.
Have you seen that? I did the review for the Shoot to Kill. Have you ever seen that with Sidney Poitier and Tom Berenger in it?
No, but I want to.
You should check that out as an excellent movie, excellent thriller.
He is great. I still absolutely love him in The Heat of the Night. It's just, it's such a good movie where the guy slaps him and he slaps him back.
They made a TV show about that ran for forever too.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Here we go. Puss in Boots. The Last
Wish. Skip.
I'm just going to see if it's Antonio Banderas. Yeah, he is back in it. Goodness me.
Just what we all been asking for.
Yeah. And how many is that now? Is that the second or the third one of that? Which is then still...
Yeah, I don't know. And that's a spin-off of Shrek, so you're talking...
Oh, okay, in September, I must admit, I am looking forward to, because I think these have always been consistently quite good, is Mission Impossible 7.
I don't really watch them, but I know that they're well-liked. I don't have anything good or bad to say about them, I guess.
I just think that they really do churn out a good story and a good set of action sequences. I think it's because it was only a few months ago we posted some of the images of the train going off the cliff, and apparently Tom's on the top of it or whatever.
Maybe I will watch that.
Yeah, Tom's okay. He did survive, I'm sorry to say, but
shit.
I think because a lot of the stuff in them is quite practical effects. It doesn't look like CG. They are quite decent, and it's Christopher McQuarrie back again directing. And like I say, I do.
You know what? He did a movie before he got involved in any of these called The Way of the Gun, and that is an excellent movie. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it stars oh god, what's his name there? The dude that oh man,
I'm just looking it up. Hang on.
Benicio del Toro is in it, and the other dude, his partner in it is God, I can never remember his name. Used to be married to Reese Witherspoon. He was in you know what I'm talking about.
Hang on, where they go? I'm looking it up because I don't think it's the same Christopher McQuarrie.
It is.
It is. Oh, it is. Sorry. The one list I was looking at, it didn't call it up on his list of movies. That's weird.
It's a great movie. You should check that out.
It will go on the list. It's
got one of the best shootouts in movie history at the end.
He is a good director. Yeah. I really like him.
Right. Very good gun handling. Very realistic. It's great.
To me, as a British person, any gun handling is always good handling.
It looks pretty good, yeah.
Apparently. Oh, good. Again, one of the films that we've all been asking for, Hocus Pocus 2.
Oh, thank God. I was like, when is it finally coming out?
Oh, it's got Sarah Jessica Parker and Bette Midler in it again.
My God. So they really do look like old witches now.
I mean, yeah, goodness me. Again, I just can't imagine. I genuinely have not seen the first one.
Do they understand how ironic that is, that how they look, and they're going to play witches now?
Yeah. It's just don't bring it up. Don't mention it. All right. Just nobody mention it. And
don't look them in the eyes and pretend like they're still pretty. Not that Bette Midler was ever anything close to attractive.
Get the cats out of here. No, get them out. Again, this is another good one. Is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse? Apparently, Part 1 it's called here. But again, what was it called? Spider-Man in the Spider-Verse? Multiverse.
Into the Spider-Verse.
That was fantastic.
Pretty good.
Yeah, really, really loved that. I think it's because I was just looking. It's not the same directors, but it's been written by Phil Lord and Christopher Miller. But I mean, they directed the first one, and I do love their work. I think their work is fantastic. They are people that are quite happy to take risks.
It was pretty good. I went into that expecting, woke garbage or something, because it's got Miles Morales in it as the main character, and I thought, ugh. But I was pleasantly surprised that it was very solid movie. Animation, I thought was going to be crappy CGI, but it was a weird, neat mix of a little bit of everything.
Yes. Yeah. It did. Yeah. It kind of, I don't want to say take you out of the movie, but yeah, like you say, the mix of different styles really worked together very well. Mm. Oh, and then, hopefully I'm really looking forward to this. October the 14th, just a couple of weeks before, but it's Halloween Ends.
I'm looking forward to the end of the Halloween franchise too.
Series and altogether. It won't be the end, it won't be.
No,
if they're releasing that 2 weeks before Halloween, it'll obviously make money because there are die-hard fans out there, and no matter if it says Halloween on it, it's brilliant. And
I never was a fan of the franchise. The first movie, of course, the 1978 one, is a great, probably the pinnacle.
It's the pinnacle.
Yeah,
and everything goes downhill from there.
But after that, there was no need for more, and no. I don't like any of the Halloween 3 being the exception because it had nothing to do with that character. But it's a good movie. It really is a good movie.
I was so surprised when I watched that because all the way through I just kept thinking, surely Michael's going to pop up somewhere.
Yeah, when's he going to come out of this?
I love the pitch of sort of like, okay, imagine this, a Halloween movie, but we take out that scary guy with the knife.
Well, you know, the one of the things that Carpenter wanted to do is make it you call them Halloween, but make them an anthology, you know, where there was no direct sequel. You know, that would have been a pretty good, that's an ideal ahead of its time, really.
Yeah, I suppose. It was just a shock when it came out. I mean, Halloween Ends, again, I'll watch it, but I'm not expecting much from it, especially from the fact that it's written by, what's his name? Danny
McBride.
Danny McBride. We should tell Yoda he needs to shut up.
I know he doesn't realize how loud and obnoxious he's being.
We do apologize, but he's having technical issues somewhere else.
Apparently, his only the credit card he uses to pay for his OnlyFans account was rejected, and he's not taking it too well. So he's going to argue with the E-Girl 127 over the chargeback on that.
In October, we've got Ticket to Paradise, romantic comedy with George Clooney and Julia Roberts.
I can't stand George Clooney or Julia Roberts.
A divorced couple travel to Bali. The only thing I would like to see about that is I've been to Bali and it was very beautiful there, so I might watch it just because it was set in Bali, but that's about it.
It doesn't take much to get you to
to be honest,
quid. That's it.
No, not at all. Not at all. There's a version of Pinocchio coming out now. I've kind of heard about. Well, apparently it's done. I'm sure it's done in a
live action, probably.
Yeah, a living puppet with the help of Cricket. Cricket as his conscience must prove himself worthy to become a real boy in a musical remake of Disney's animated classic.
Oh well, now we look stupid for our brilliant joke.
No, we can hear you. Why is he right? So just to put this in context to our listeners out there, at the moment Yoda is watching the live stream whilst he should be hosting the live stream. We can actually see him watching it. So 30 seconds he will come back and say, "No, I'm not." But we can see your screen, Yoda. And he also appears to be buying underwear by the look of things. That will never fit him. Anyway, let's go back before I get myself into too much trouble. Pinocchio might be interesting. I do like a good musical. I know you're not a massive fan, but I quite like them.
I still maintain that one of the scariest things ever put on film is the scene when Pinocchio is on the island and the other boy starts turning into a donkey.
That is freaky.
It's terrifying.
I mean, the whole story of Pinocchio is really bizarre. You imagine sort of like,
right? Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Now we're getting chewed out.
Right. Okay. Sorry, everybody. Apparently, you can't hear him, but we can. Yes, so we can make up anything he's saying.
Yeah.
No, Yoda. I don't think. I think the Gone with the Wind was a bit too racist compared to what you say. Right. And do you know what? I keep thinking of things in my head, and then my brain sort of going, "Don't say that."
I mean, he's been saying the N-word for like 3 minutes straight, which is hilarious. But you know,
which is no, by the way, just to clear up any. Yeah. The Flash movie is out in November. It's got Ben Affleck and Ezra Miller. I mean, again, he's one of those people that I don't know much about everything outside of sort of the movies, but I have heard news reports of what a weirdo he is.
Yeah.
It's again, but then he's got Michael Keaton in there, and it's such a shame that that's kind of been spoiled. But it's
here's my problem with it. It's DC. So I'm no interest at all.
You shouldn't say that in front of Eggy Wade because he loves DC. Oh. So he's a real big fan of them.
You know, the only DC property I ever liked was Preacher, written by Garth Ennis, and the Lobo series because it was so over the top, violent, and hilarious. I like that. That's literally that's the only two I ever liked. And Preacher was a Vertigo imprint, so I get owned by DC, but.
I think DC has been downhill since the Adam West Batmans. The Flash, roll the eyes, Eggy says. I thought you'd been into that, Eggy. I thought you'd been.
He's into flashing, but not the
yeah,
Flash.
not the Flash.
He likes to put the trench coat on and go and run when the Queen comes out. He's like,
Right. Now, here is a film that you can in no way, shape, or form say is going to be woke in any way, shape, or form in November. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
Oh, absolutely, there will be zero.
I mean, I think they are replacing what's his name, T'Challa, with a white guy, a white woman.
They should. I think Ryan Gosling is going to play T'Challa.
No, because Ryan Gosling is playing Martin Luther King in an up-and-coming movie.
Right. His schedule's full
up. Again, I did kind of like Black Panther, but there were major issues with it, mostly with the CG. I thought. I mean, like I say, it was a decent movie, and it was kind of nice to get out of the whole America saves the world type thing, and have it based in a different country. And I kind of do like the whole society in which they lived with all the clothes.
Why do you hate white people?
Because I am one. I hate myself. I can't even look at myself in the mirror.
Liberal white guilt. European liberal white guilt, man.
I'm not racist. I hate everyone. It's not just it's not just whites and everybody else. It's everyone.
It's not just the. I almost use your favorite.
Be careful.
I almost use your favorite word for Gone with the Wind.
Okay, in November as well, Creed 3. Now again, there's another movie that's just not needed.
They're still making those.
Yeah, the first one I thought was actually quite decent. I'm not into boxing at all, but I watched it and I quite enjoyed it, and it was quite decent. But the second one, couldn't tell you a thing about it. Third one,
one of them. Yeah, it's the first supposed to be in this one too.
Oh, hang on, let's have a look. Is it still?
Wasn't he dying from cancer in the first Creed? I thought.
Actually, he's not. He's not actually in the credits. According to this, the thing that I'm on here, he's not in the credits, so maybe he has died. Maybe they reanimated his body.
He's supposed to fight. Creed is supposed, who is the son of Apollo Creed, is supposed to now fight the son of Drago, which was Dolph Lundgren's Russian character. No, I'm serious.
Really?
Yeah, that's what the story is. Dear. He's fighting Drago
in a playground.
Yeah, in a Russian. Yeah.
All right, I would only watch Creed 3 if there was a freezer scene and Stallone's body was hung up and he pummels that.
Dude, you got to pitch that.
I've just looked up The Fabelmans and it immediately started with Seth Rogen, so I'm immediately out. Oh no, The Fabelmans is the coming of age story loosely about Steven Spielberg's own childhood growing up in Arizona.
Oh God, I can't wait to see that.
Again, Spielberg is somebody who, I have said this constantly, the last summer blockbuster he had was 1999, Jurassic Park. And then since then, he's made some great films since then, I'm not denying that, but his summer blockbuster...
He peaked with 1941. He'll never do better. Unironically, I do like 1941 a lot, though.
I did try and watch it last year, and I couldn't quite get through it. It was, I didn't.
It's not for everybody.
I think Steven Spielberg's greatest is, this is a weird one, but I've always thought his greatest was Close Encounters. The reason being is I remember seeing him in an interview, and he said that Richard Dreyfuss's character did everything he could to get to that tower. And he went against his job and his family and everything, and Spielberg said that that was him as he was trying to make the film, that he neglected all his family and everything else just to make that film and get it out there. And that story, I don't know why, it just really struck a chord with me, and I always thought that was the best thing he's done.
Have you ever seen Indiana Jones?
Yeah. They're all great and stuff. But
that there's this movie called Jaws. I don't know if you've heard of it.
They're thoroughly entertaining, but I think there's a difference between a film being entertaining and a film being like a well-made movie. And I'm not saying Jaws isn't, or Indiana Jones, or anything else like that before you can jump down my throat. I just think
you ever seen a little movie called Saving Private Ryan?
I think Close Encounters is his best movie that he's made.
What about a little comedy he made called Schindler's List?
It wasn't as funny as the book. That was the problem with that. That's my favourite quote when anybody mentions a film like that. Somebody mentioned on Twitter the other day, "What's your favourite ending to a movie?" And I said, "Eden Lake." Have you not seen that? Eden Lake is a movie that caught me by surprise. It was pre-fame. What's his name? Magneto, young Magneto.
Oh,
Michael Fassbender.
Wait a minute. Is he? Where is he from originally? Is he British? Or is he from Germany?
He's English.
He sure does speak German well in that movie. I thought he was.
Yeah, it's something we all learned during the war.
After they won.
yeah. Nobody knows that. But it was a pre-fame him, and it's about a couple that go to a place called Eden Lake, and he grew up there, and it's going to be developed, and so they just sort of have a little camping trip, but they get picked on by local youth. And if you haven't seen it, it's a film that kind of no. It's a movie that kind of brutally attacks you all the way through and then finally kicks you repeatedly in the head at the end.
Oh, I like the sound of this. Is it violent?
It's a film I wouldn't want to watch again.
Oh, I'm definitely going to watch it. It sounds right up my alley. Eden Lake. From what year?
96-ish, I think it is. Let me just double check. Eden Lake. You can find it. It's got lovely girl in it, Kelly Riley. She's really good in it. Oh, 2008. Goodness me.
Jeez.
God, there's me thinking it was like really old.
He was in, Fassbender played a part in Band of Brothers. He plays Christensen.
I've never seen
Brothers. Oh, really?
Yeah. Never seen it.
It's pretty good. It's about how a bunch of guys.
I've heard how
how we saved the world in World War II with no help of any other country.
Sorry, just again to plug in here that Eggy Weggies has just said nothing after Batman vs Superman has been any good.
I would submit to you, Eggy, that nothing from any of those era is any good, man.
Yeah, I'm the same. I know Eggy does love Man of Steel, but I felt there were many plot holes in Man of Steel that just made it not unwatchable, but laughable. Sorry, Eggy.
Yeah.
Love you. So much trouble.
He's also griping about how the rumors are racing the Snyderverse all the while having filmed Aquaman 2 and very possibly greenlighting Wonder Woman 3. Yeah, I mean, it's a mess over there.
Funny enough, we're just coming up to December because Aquaman, The Lost Kingdom is due out. And again, a lot of people have already said that they're going to boycott it because Amber Heard has been left in it.
I'm boycotting it, not because she's in it, but because we don't get to see her tits in it.
I'm boycotting it because it's just probably not going to be very good.
I'll tell you a movie she was in that is good, though, is called Drive Angry with Nicolas Cage. That's great.
Yes.
Very fun.
Yeah. Avatar 2.
You know what? We should probably save that for that'll be its own episode of this, I'm sure.
What gets me about James Cameron is he has a way of making you want to see the film, and he's got some of the highest grossing movies of all time, like Titanic and everything else, and Avatar. The way he does his advertising, it just makes everybody go, "Oh, I've really got to see that," and he does get people. He gets bums on seats.
I don't think it's so much that he's a brilliant advertiser. It's just that he has a record of superb quality for so long that you can just say James Cameron's new film, and you're like, I'm interested just because it's his movie. You know what I mean? This is the guy that did Terminator 2, Aliens. Of course I'm at least partially intrigued because I don't even have to see anything. Just tell me he's got a new movie coming out.
Okay, then.
Well,
so you'll be,
if it wasn't Avatar now, but any other.
I was going to say you'll be pleased to hear that there's Avatar 3, 4, and 5 due out up until 2028.
Yes, as soon as I read it, back in 2014, that the sequels would be out shortly.
Didn't he say you have loads of them planned?
Yeah. You know what really makes me mad about the whole Avatar thing is that he cast what's her name?
Sam.
Oh no.
Sigourney Weaver.
Sigourney Weaver in it, right? And the guy that plays the military contractor bad guy, he originally was thought about casting Michael Biehn in that role, but he said, I almost did it, but then I thought, I better not do that because it'll distract people, make them think of aliens, and I don't want them to do that. Having already cast Sigourney Weaver.
Sigourney Weaver in it, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, Michael Biehn is great. And
wasn't Sigourney Weaver in some science fiction something or other? Was she in the Alien series? I forget now.
Yeah, she was kind of. Yeah, so
that's obviously his reasoning.
Yeah, that was. He's like, it'd make people think too much of that. I was like, dude, that's stupid. But yeah, what's his name? The guy that plays the hero and is a crappy. How does that guy even get work?
I know. With some people, you do think to yourself, they must have a dad who's paying for something.
Him and Jai Courtney. I'm like, how do these guys get into these
don't
movies?
Get me started with Jai Courtney. I know.
I don't understand it.
My brain immediately goes, probably should turn this off now. If I see Jai Courtney on screen.
That's right. So that's right. So Zap brings up that the second one's set underwater, and Cameron definitely has a touch with underwater stuff, I guess. The Abyss, Titanic.
Yeah.
I mean, that might be enough to make me watch it when it comes out on home video, but
I've made Eggy Wegs cry. I am sorry, Eggy. Man of Steel was great, and if you enjoyed it, then good for you.
And your mommy was right. You're a handsome boy, and that's a normal size.
This is the way to get new followers.
You're no girl that you've ever been with faked it. I promise everything's gonna be okay.
So having insulted them, the last one, that Super Mario Brothers with Chris Pratt.
Yeah, I mean that's another one I just can't wait to see. I love video game movies.
I take it you've seen the original one from the 90s.
Of course, yes, of course I've seen that.
I kind of want to put that back on my watch list because I fancy watching it just for how bad it would be.
If that Cecil at Good Bad Flicks is a pretty big fan of that movie, actually. And he makes a pretty compelling argument about that if it just wasn't Mario, Super Mario Brothers, that it would be, a pretty good movie. I disagree with that assessment, but
Okay, so also I've just found on the end of this list some of the stuff that hasn't been confirmed of when it's going to be coming out. For example, Clerks 3 is due out.
We talked about that.
Jeepers Creepers Reborn.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's a very controversial franchise because the director is famously a pedophile, convicted pedophile. Yeah.
All right.
And so a lot of people.
The only thing I remember about that series is didn't the song play on the radio before they got attacked by whatever this thing was?
Yeah.
Because
on the first one, because. Yeah,
no, but I just imagine this monster sort of going, yeah, I'm going to kill two kids tonight. Can you play Jeepers Creepers about 11:20?
Yeah. Now it's a legit pretty good little horror movie. The first one is though.
I don't remember. I might have to watch it again and give it another chance.
Yeah, it's pretty good, man. It really is pretty good.
But obviously, this is a prequel or Reborn. I suppose it's just probably a reboot or a remake.
They made a third one just a couple years ago, so I don't know if this one's going to be a sequel.
After the first one, I didn't bother with the second or the third one.
The second one is extremely gay, and I mean that is literally.
Right. Okay. You sure you watched the wrong one? You didn't download something from the wrong place?
Nah, it's a bus load of high schoolers, and all the boys have to take their shirts off because, like I said, the director is a.
Right. I see.
So he didn't help his reputation by when he made that. Yeah.
Sesame Street the movie.
Oh God!
Utterly pointless.
Yeah.
Orphan First Kill. Obviously, that sounds like a prequel to Orphan, which is a shame because I didn't think Orphan was all that great.
I don't think I've seen that one.
It's I'm just trying to think. I think it's the young girl who's actually a woman, but she's got like Benjamin Button's disease or something, so she looks like a kid, and then she kills everyone. I think. Blazing Samurai. What's that about? It looks like to me that sort of thought. I thought, but it looks like the same kind of animation from Kung Fu Panda.
Oh, one movie that's coming out this year that probably is on that list is from Kurando Mitsuke, which is the director of Gun Woman and Karate Kills, which I'm a big fan of. And Maniac Driver is the name of that one, and I'm looking forward to that. I used to be friends with him, but unfortunately he in 2019, 2020, he went full on Trump derangement syndrome so much that he was posting on Facebook where him and his kid was building Lego prison and putting a little Lego Donald Trump in it with his like 6-year-old son. And I said, Karondo, that's man, you need to take a break from politics. She's like, don't tell me who. I said, I'm not, because we had an agreement with each other, not to discuss politics. I said, hey man, I'm just saying, like, if you're doing that, regardless of which, if I even agreed with you on this, I would still say that's a little much when you're like fantasizing with your 6-year-old about, you know what I mean? You're building a Lego set of it. And he blocked me completely on Facebook.
So we could have had an interview with him if
we could have had an interview with him, yeah, because he makes some great movie. In fact, he's the guy that got me on the screeners list in Hollywood, and and become friends with on Facebook to where I talked to Brian Trenchard Smith, which got the interview with Yoda there last year, and it's a shame he let that,
I'm the same that I don't talk about politics, and I just try not to get involved with it. If I can possibly help it, because it just always seems to end badly in one way or another.
It just seemed like he was obsessed with it, and I was just like more concerned about his mental health, because it wasn't a thing about It wasn't
no, I know what you mean.
It's I disagree with you, you liberal It was just like, dude, if you're like obsessing over it this much that you're building a Lego playset over this, you're losing, you're losing it a little bit, brother. And he did not take that too well.
Oh, that's a shame. Like I say, I've seen people make comments, and I do just think to myself, if you want to believe that, that's good for you.
I mean, he was it was making him so unhappy, It's like, man, don't let this affect you that much, man. It's just these idiots in DC,
The only thing I must say that I'm looking forward to coming out next year, there's a few bits and pieces there, but anything by kind of A24 I think is my favorite company at the moment, because they're the company that just seem to make these utterly, I don't want to say bizarre, but just like non-Hollywood movies. It's like independent filmmakers who want to make something interesting.
What have they made?
They recently, I saw Red Rocket, which was very interesting. I'm sure they did. Oh, do you know what? I'm going to have to look them up now, or I'm going to forget. I'm sure they did The Green Knight, which I really liked. Hang on a minute, I'm just trying to find it now. But they did the one with a couple that adopted the sheep kid in Finland or Norway or somewhere, which I haven't seen yet, but it sounds bizarrely wonderful. I know it sounds stupid.
I know what you're saying. Yeah. I thought, man, that sounds kind of like something I'd kind of want to see too.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just trying to find them.
Have you seen Licorice Pizza yet, by the way?
No, and I'm going to be honest, I'm not.
Oh, that's
I'm
right.
Still not bothered.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I forgot about
it. It seems too American about it.
Yeah, it probably is. I guess I forgot that you didn't have any interest in that one.
Red Rocket was quite interesting. They did come on. I'm just seeing The Green Knight, Zola, which was very good. It's a lot of films. They did Uncut Gems with Adam Sandler.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The Lighthouse, Midsommar. I'm just trying to think of they are one of those companies that, just like I say, I think people who want to make an independent, interesting movie go to like Paramount and everybody else. They all say no, and A24 say, yeah, sure. You want to make a movie about a kid with a sheep head? Yeah, go for it. Here's some money. Go and have fun.
I'd watch that movie.
And so the stuff that they're producing, I think, is really good. Hereditary, they did, which I really liked.
Excellent.
Yeah, really, really good. Lady Bird, Killing of a Sacred Deer, that was very good.
I didn't like that one.
Oh, really? Oh, I thought it was. Yeah, no, I really like that. It Comes at Night, which I remember was quite good. A Ghost Story. They've done loads of good stuff. Swiss Army Man, which I really love. That's the one with Daniel Radcliffe. It's the body.
Yeah. Very, very quirky movie.
Exactly.
Man, see, that's the thing. They used to be. There was a time that would have been a normal Hollywood movie. But now that's like we have to go like, oh, you got to dig deep for that now.
I do. No, well, that's what I mean with A24. I like the fact that they are making these kind of movies that Hollywood isn't making, because they must be making loads of money, really, because it's kind of, like I say, Hollywood's only sort of focused on making sure these reboots make more money this time round and stuff like that. They did Under the Skin, Enemy, loads of good stuff. Anyway, right. So whilst we're here and we're still waiting for Yoda, because he's still He's still doing whatever he's doing. Yoda, you need to come back and turn it off in a minute because we've only got 15 minutes left. Boba Fett, episode 2. For those Under the Skin, Eggy Wag said they did as well, which is very good. It's very good for Scarlett Johansson film.
Oh, yes. I forgot about that movie, yeah.
I do like her acting in it, and the range that she puts in.
She's got two great talents. You know?
So Boba Fett, episode 2. I thought this was mildly better than the first one, but it's still not really blowing my skirt up just yet.
Like I said, I would rather them started the story chronologically, and then we just followed him until present time. I don't like the flashback thing.
Yeah,
because I'm not really enthused with the whole. People are complaining about. My friend likes it, and he's been a big Boba Fett fan. You know, he's got like the little ship and a helmet and all that kind of crap. But
not crap.
I understand. Wait, I'm sorry. Swag, merchandise.
Oh, just I've got a little ship somewhere. I did have the helmet. Annoyingly, my funny story about this is I got a bonus from a job, and I thought I'm going to buy myself a Black Series helmet, and I got it, and as soon as I put it on, didn't fit, and I had to send it back, and it was the worst, most horrible thing I've ever had to do. I was so disappointed.
Wait a minute. So do they make them in different sizes, or is it just one size?
Well, I'm assuming they did because Tamir Morrison's head looks massive.
Did you see that the Adidas Boba Fett tracksuit that come out?
Yeah.
And it sold out in like 30 seconds apparently, and then
I
was really watching Shane Davis on YouTube whine about it for like 3 hours one night because he's a big Boba Fett guy and a lover of Adidas tracksuits.
And I'm not a massive fan of Adidas tracksuits.
Wait a minute, I thought that was a big thing in England. Is that you all wore those?
There are people called chavs who wear them, and I am not one because I can speak correctly, and they're usually worn by, like I say, they're kind of chavs. I don't know what you would call them in America.
There's a word for it, but I can't say it on YouTube.
Yeah, I think that's best.
And you would know that word if I said it.
But with it, like I say, the series is. I said in my review that it's not a copy and paste of Mando.
Wait a minute. Hold that thought. Let me ask you this. Here's what the complaints I've been seeing is that he doesn't act to character, like as far as the fandom seems to have like this conception of how he should act based only on the little bit he was in the original 3 movies. But there seems to be, this
first 2, second 2, but yeah.
Yeah. So, and I understand that because, you think of this guy as this, super badass and no mercy or whatever, but he does not seem to be feeling that.
Well, there's an interesting, Yoda sent me a video the other day of a guy, I forget his name now, but he seems to think that what Jon Favreau particularly is doing with Boba Fett is basically just having a pop at Kathleen Kennedy. In the fact that Kathleen Kennedy seemed to rule with an iron fist, and everything had to go her way, and it had to be all woke and everything else, and she completely took Star Wars and flushed it down the toilet. There's a line in this episode of Boba Fett where Boba Fett says, "I would rather rule by respect than with fear," and it's kind of the fact that Kathleen Kennedy, everybody was afraid of Kathleen Kennedy, but Jon Favreau, who's got the respect of the fans, and
you buy that argument.
The way this guy put it over, I was kind of, it did seem interesting, but it's just the whole thing of Boba Fett. Like I say, they've done the Mando, they've done the Man in the Helmet, so why are they just doing another one? If you were going to do that, just make the Mando the Boba Fett. Don't have like a Mandalorian and then a Boba Fett. Who's next? Just another bloke in a helmet.
See, I didn't understand why they didn't just do that from the start. Is because they were like, we're going to make a Boba Fett movie, and then there's like, no, we're going to do this series. And I thought, well, why didn't they just make? Because that's what everybody wanted anyway, right?
Yeah.
Before the Mandalorian even come out, what they really wanted was the Mandalorian, but starring Boba Fett, right?
Yeah.
So I can't even I don't understand either that or they thought, I don't know. I just don't know why they didn't do that.
And then also I said on Twitter that it's kind of annoying that what they're going to be then doing is you've got Mando, which did go to different planets and stuff, but kind of mostly set on like a desert planet. It seems Boba Fett is going to be the same, that it's all set on Tatooine. And then you're going to have Obi-Wan, which probably is going to be set on Tatooine as well. And it's like, again, it's just...
this desert shithole planet get the center of the entire Star Wars universe.
Exactly. It's one of those things that when Disney took over Star Wars, I was worried because of what is now happening, and they are just churning stuff out. And it is just literally, oh, what else can we do? And sooner or later, there's going to be a Gonk droid movie, of just this droid going around going Gonk, 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 and that's going to be it for 2 hours. And it's a shame because, I mean, have you ever watched? Because this is a classic British example, but have you ever watched Fawlty Towers with John Cleese?
I've seen clips and stuff of it, yeah, but I've never watched it.
It's worth it. It's a British classic, and that is a British thing where everybody is made to watch Fawlty Towers and laugh at it and find it funny, and it is brilliant. But it's brilliant because there are just 12
you make
episodes.
A great argument for it. Everybody has to watch it, laugh at it, or
everybody in Britain
will send you to the Tower of London.
It is genuinely hilarious. There's a whole section where he has a go at German, well, not British. There's a German sequence, and anybody who's British knows what I'm talking about. And it's brilliant because it's just 12 episodes. But if they did like 12 series of them, it would be utterly ridiculous after a while, because it's funny because it kind of just, John Cleese always said he just sort of ran out of jokes, and so he stopped making it and just left it as classic as it was. And with Star Wars, that's exactly what Disney are going to do. They've done it with the MCU. It ended with Endgame, but they're still like, well, we own this property and we want to make more money out of this property, and so they're trying to produce it, and it's a shame because they're just going to bleed it dry.
Yeah, and they take off any edge off of it too, which is the saddest part of all, I think.
Yeah,
it could have been, but everything's got to be made for kids, and whatever,
and for the woke crowd now and everything else.
Of course, that goes without saying.
Talking of Twitter, is LMO coming to get over
Getter? No, probably not.
What's Getter?
It's another social media place owned by the Chinese, and Joe Rogan has been over there. It's like a Twitter
run by the Chinese.
Yeah,
I'd love
really
to get them all my information.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I guess anything's possible. Who knows? You're asking the wrong two guys for that.
I was just going to say,
hey man, we just talk here. We don't know what makes it tick.
I'm so glad that Eggy thinks that we're young enough to know what Getter, whatever it is, because I've never heard of it.
I only know about it because it made the news recently, because Joe Rogan has started an account over there because he's afraid Twitter was, censorship's getting so bad, and that's all I know about it.
I'm just looking it up now.
And I know that it's Chinese own it, and then
if anything that's Chinese owned, why would you do that?
I know you're going to sign up and give them your personal information. Not that they don't already have it, but I don't want to give it to them again.
Somebody sent me the other day a brilliant video from Family Guy, and it said it had 2 kids at Christmas. They're going, "Oh, we're bored," and they got I think it was something called like the Look Bear, made in China, and his eyes flash up when you flash a credit card in front of his eyes, and there's a staff discount for anybody who works for the American government, stuff like that. But it is kind of really, it's Chinese owned, and people are sort of signing up to this freely. I don't get that. I don't think
they didn't know that. It just recently kind of come out after somebody did some.
Oh right.
Yeah, because there's another guy, but his money, the money for it comes from some big Chinese, zillionaire. So
good old China.
I mean, it's like TikTok. People love TikTok, and they know it's Chinese made.
I saw a video the other day, and apparently there's a whole house full of TikTok people, and I keep thinking, if ever there was a need for an explosion,
gas explosion, gas leak.
Anything at all in that house. I don't think even the police would bother investigating it.
Probably not.
Oh, it's not Chinese owned. That's TikTok.
No,
get your facts straight.
Yes, it is. Go look it up, baby. You can Google it. Like, it come out that a Chinese,
billionaire
is the money man behind Getter. So.
Oh, he might just be the money man, though. Maybe he's got some.
Oh, yeah, that's all it is. He's just a capitalist, is what it is. He's all about free speech. That's what it is.
Well, no, that could be true, though, couldn't it? Because
it
China's.
Could be. I could.
Anyway, let's get back to Boba Fett. So, yes, like I say, that whole.
Oh, wait a minute. yeah. So let me get back to my point. So does it bother you? Is that one of the things that bother you? Does he seem out of character to you? Is he like, that's not the guy that I know and love? He acts like some kind of, beta male. I want sigma male.
No, I don't know. I mean, I haven't looked. I haven't seen that in him. He's playing a character, which I think is the character he is. The whole sympathy towards the Sand People, and as I said in my review, making the Sand People kind of sympathetic. These murderous people, likable, was a kind of an odd choice. But I've not got that from Boba Fett. But then again, from all I know of him really is from the movies, and I've read a couple of the comic books, and that's kind of it. I haven't really formed, he still seems, well, I say he still seems badass. Again, there was the whole sequence where the Sand person was teaching him how to fight. And
that's female. That's a female, by the way.
Is it?
It is.
How do you tell?
Because I know
crocodile way.
No, looking at I was like, no, I mean, first of all, the body, but yeah, it come out, I can't remember, I was watching Ethan Van Sciver this morning. He read something about it, that it's confirmed that the one teaching him how to use the stick and fight is a female warrior. So,
oh, that's disappointing. Because again,
why do you hate women?
I told you I hate everyone.
Oh yeah.
It is kind of a shame in the fact that, like I say, when he was teaching the fight, and I was thinking, this is Boba Fett. I know Boba Fett has gone up against Darth Vader, and it ended in a draw. The two of them actually fought, and Boba Fett was able to take on Darth Vader. Anybody who can take on Darth Vader and end in a draw doesn't need to be taught how to fight with a stick.
Well, would it make you feel any better that I told you that the guy's probably still weak from being, half digested and living in the desert or something? Does that help?
No.
I'm not. I'm just trying to make you feel better. It doesn't matter to me. I have no emotional attachment to the show at all.
It's kind of, like I say, I'm more and more, the more I see of remakes and reboots and redos and prequels and everything else, and including Boba Fett, the more my brain just goes, ugh.
Yeah.
And just, here we go. And then sometimes I am surprised. I did watch Ghostbusters Afterlife recently for the first time, and with the way that you guys were describing it, or at least the way, what's his name, Yoda was describing it.
What's his name? You mean the guy that we're on here with every week?
No, but the way he was talking about it, I thought it was going to be really sort of like a nostalgia hit, but I actually thought it was quite well done, and I actually quite enjoyed it. I get what he's saying about all of them turning up at the end, but it was a nice moment when it had the four of them on the screen. I thought it was quite good.
Speaking of TV letdowns, is the series finale of Dexter was shown on Showtime, but spoilers. So anybody that is going to watch this better, anyway. So it ends with Dexter's son killing him, which makes me so enraged I can't even put it into words. So it's like Showtime doesn't understand that the reason people like Dexter is because they like Dexter, the character. It's like I don't watch it.
Dexter.
Yeah, it's not like, oh, I watched this because there's this serial killer maniac and I can't wait to see him get what he deserves. No, it's because he's, they've created a very charismatic, likable, funny character. It's really, and then they kill him. That makes me so angry. I don't even. Oh.
Again, it's one of those things that these scripts have to go through several people, maybe hundreds of people, and everybody ticked off on it and said it was all right.
Yeah, I mean, this is the original creators of the series even come up with this ending. Like, they should have left it, and I was loving the series, the new, I liked it a lot.
Because didn't the end of like the last series end quite disappointingly, and then they brought it back again?
Not to me, but a lot of people, because he just escapes Florida, and he's in the Pacific Northwest, just living this like life of a monk as a lumberjack, and you see like he's just like lost everybody that he cared about, everybody's dead, and he's just miserable.
Well, you should stop killing them.
Well, he didn't kill them.
All my friends are dead. Yeah, well, you keep killing them.
He didn't directly kill them, but like his actions ended up so, but it was a good ending, I thought. And then they like brought him back, and I thought, yeah, and his son comes back and finds him. But then, this, and I was like, oh.
Just to come back to the chat there, Eggy Wegs has said, with Boba Fett, are we going to get a young Han Solo cameo like we did with Luke Skywalker and Mando? Now, I did find a story the other day where apparently Harrison Ford has been filming something to do with either Boba Fett or I think probably more likely Boba Fett than Obi-Wan, but apparently there may be a possibility that a young Han Solo might turn up.
I don't care.
At this point, I am getting to the point where I just think, do you know what? I don't care either. Yeah. Star Wars is lost the magic that it once had. It was once an amazing movie, an amazing trilogy that absolutely blew away just everything. It changed cinema history, and it changed so many people's lives, and it's such a driving force. And then the prequels came out, and they were just mediocre at best. In fact, I'd actually say Attack of the Clones is it's on par with Last Jedi as far as I'm concerned. The writing in it is terrible. And then just now, like I say, the Disney own it, they're just going to keep churning it out, and I don't ever see them getting it right again. It's just going to be keep churning it. The problem is like I've seen on Twitter.
Hold on a second. Go ahead. I can hear you though.
Okay, I'm just going to talk to myself here. Those two guys are rubbish. I don't know why I carry on with them. No, that I do have an issue with the fact that I think, like I say, Star Wars is just going to just get worse and worse. But as long as there's people out there, like you say, the stands as they call them, that if it's got Halloween running on it, it's brilliant. It's got Star Wars on it, it's brilliant. And it's like, no, it's not. It's not. You've seen Caravan of Courage. Yeah. That's just, oh my goodness, Caravan of Courage is just it's such a terrible movie. But like I say, and I'm kind of okay with the fact that they're not great movies, but it's just I want to see them get better. I just don't see it happening any time in the future.
Yeah, I don't. They're just going to run it into the ground until they kill it, and then
just bleed it dry.
It'll turn into like a cartoon series or something, I guess. I don't.
Yeah, it'll get worse than the holiday special that Lucas did. I've got that on my hard drive somewhere, and I kind of want to watch it at some point just for a laugh.
Maybe they'll like stop for a while, and then no, it'll probably degenerate into just a bunch of Disney Plus shows, and nothing really. A lot of promises of more movies that never really.
Again, it made me laugh because I mean the people out there that still defend like Kathleen Kennedy and everything else and still think that Star Wars is great, and I think even Disney know how badly they messed up, so they've stopped making all the movies. Even Disney know how terrible those films are. Yeah. So you can't sit there and defend them and say they're good. They are not good. They are terrible, and yeah, it's a shame. But what are you going to do? Like I say, it's kind of, again, if it's got Star Wars, I will watch it, but I do not hold any hope out for it now. Like I say, sometime in the future, I want to make a video on this, how I think that it peaked at Empire Strikes Back and then the score goes down. And I'm hoping at some point in time it will go back up, but it may not even be in my lifetime. Hopefully my kids will enjoy it.
I tell you, that's the sad part, man, is that, like I've always said, I've never been, it never had the impact on me that it does guys like you and Yoda, but I see like the people that love it so much and then see what's happened to it. It's like, I feel sorry for you guys, because to me, I don't care what they do with it, but I feel sorry for you, man, because...
That's the thing. It's like I say, it is horrible to watch when you've grown up with something that you love so much. It's kind of like my dad passed away 20 years ago. If somebody dug up his bones and then tried to animate him to make me feel better, it's not going to work. Yeah. He is gone. I get that. He is gone. And the way, like I say, that Disney are just carrying on, they are just going to keep churning it out and churning it out. I'm just trying to get Yoda's attention.
Yeah.
Because like we've really run over now, and I'm getting really bored. Yeah.
No. Yeah, I'm running out of things to say.
So yeah,
my dog's starting to tell me it's time to wrap up.
So let's review every movie ever made. Yeah. A horse running across a screen was originally made in 1896.
So how did you like Steamboat Willie?
Absolutely wonderful. It's a shame. Actually, do you know what? I was thinking of putting together again a video on what I think Walt Disney would actually make of Disney now, because I do think Walt Disney himself, I mean, apart from being a bit of a neo-Nazi,
I don't think that's true. I don't believe that's true.
Well, but Disney himself was an innovator, a creator. He didn't care about the money. And somebody said that there was one of the rides in one of the parks somewhere is broken, and Walt Disney himself would never have had that. You know, he would have had it repaired or blocked off or built into something new. But yet now his company is kind of the epitome of just making money, not caring about the fans anymore.
Bland, non-creative.
Yeah, the actual creative side of Disney is just nowhere near what he tried to do. I mean, he created the 3D animation, effect, and he put so much into it. I just wondered what he would think if he were alive today. Well, I suppose they've got his head frozen somewhere. They can bring him back.
Maybe the Queen. He's with the Queen. What are you talking about?
No, I'm just thinking his head's in a jar, like in Futurama.
Yeah.
But I mean, it would be awful to think what he thinks of his own company, that he was trying to make these creative processes into dazzle people, and now all it is just about making money.
Yeah, it would be interesting to know. Everybody would be fired from the ground up, probably. That's for sure. He would not cause that.
It's a shame.
My cousin's son wants to go down and work for Disney doing something. Wow. He's going to some college down there to be like an computer animator and stuff. It's like, why in the world would you want to work for those assholes?
No, at least try and get into somewhere like Pixar is Disney now, isn't it?
I think it is. Yeah, they bought it out or something.
Because again, Pixar haven't really churned out anything that good since they took over.
The Incredibles, is that from Pixar? I really like that franchise quite a bit.
But again, that was when Pixar was kind of its own entity. And the same with us.
At least when the first one was, yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame. I read a good one the other day saying, when I die, I want my remains scattered all over Disney World. Oh, and I don't want to be cremated. That'll get him.
This dog's yapping at me. Come here.
What's your dog called?
Zoe.
Zoe.
She can't hear you. It's wearing the.
Oh yeah, of course. Of course, yeah. Sorry, that's really not helpful.
I'm gonna have to go. What are we gonna do here? This dog's about to pee all over herself.
If you want to go, I'll just sit here talking to myself until Yoda comes back. I assume. He's busy away. I think he's doing technical support for his job. I think
so. Yeah. I can try to make her calm down here, but we need some kind of way to end it without his help here.
Yeah. Yoda.
Can you fill time while I at least take her out and let her?
Yeah, go for it. I'll just sit here.
I'm gonna mute the microphone here and then try to get her to do this real quick. You kill time and be funny.
No worries. Just sit there and be funny. Oh look, he's coming back. Right. Sorry about this, everybody. This is one of those situations. Hello. Hello. Welcome back. Yes. Oh, everybody's been talking about stuff. And then people work for Disney, Super World, Disney will get those right. Yes. No, we're ready to wrap up. Sean's had to take the dog out, and the new job is going well. Thank you, Eggy, just for asking very quickly. But yeah, we're ready to wrap up. Take care, everyone.
I was muted.